the people behind DC Universe are working on a Marvel MMO.
Wow.
So, and this is kind of like when the Matrix Online got announced. You go like, okay, so convert this franchise into an MMO setting that makes sense. With the Matrix, it works perfectly because the whole story about people waking up.
You would think, huh?
You would think, right? Just besides execution of the game, just the setting for why there'd be a ton of people with a bunch of powers.
Hey,
In
man,
that,
you want a really good, feel-good moment about the Matrix Online? Lawrence Fishburne's not in the goddamn new movie because he got killed in the in-canon
yep,
MMO event.
yep, Morpheus died.
What a great use of that
But
license.
but look at the guy that looks like young Morpheus. Did you see him?
I saw him.
He looks like young Morpheus.
FIFO 5 Morpheus.
Oh yeah, in case anyone didn't know that, Morpheus canonically in Matrix lore dies in the MMO,
Yeah.
and that's you have
Some
to live with
weirdo
it.
slime man just crawls out of a vent and shoots him like 5 times, and then he's dead.
It's kind of like Palpatine in Fortnite. It's hard
Yeah, a
canon that
little
must
bit.
be acknowledged from here on out forever.
Man, you know that was terrible day one, and that's only gonna age like rotten milk every day in the future. When people
Well,
go, "Hey, I want to get into Star Wars," and then they go to that movie and they're like, "What? What? When?" And then somebody has to go, "Well, you know that game that shut down a couple years ago? Yeah, he came in and he was like."
I'm waiting for the game like 30 years from now where they go back and reference the time that Palpatine sent a broadcast signal to some weird system to some specific system, and they're like, where was it? They're like, we don't know, but it was received and displayed somewhere, and maybe they have to locate it on a star chart, you know? But then you can go and look at
Man,
the lore and go, Fortnite lives right here in the undiscovered space.
I can't believe there were people who actually thought that that third Star Wars movie was going to be anything other than garbage after the most important thing to ever happen in Star Wars was a live service ad in some video game. Like I can't think of a movie that had less artistic integrity. And I know, yeah, it's big budget Hollywood garbage, but like, holy shit.
The moment you get to the end of Last Jedi and they don't do the thing, just play the sound of a deflating balloon and have it last for the entirety of the third movie until the credits roll. Just
Oh man. Oh man.
for hours until and then that's it. That's what you need.
Fuck.
All right. So how does Marvel create an MMO where lots of people have superpowers and it makes sense in the world?
Well, you go ahead and grab the people who made City Heroes, and you just make City Heroes 2.
So that's my first thought is you just go that route. The other thought is like you try to make it so that like you're still in a populated city with lots of normal people, or that there's a sense of you still being one out of X number of people, you know? And then the other thing is if you give people the ability to you know, I guess dress up as all their favorites and mix and match costume pieces and stuff, like, do you just play the game and thousands of people cosplay as Wolverine,
Yeah,
or
so that was
is it
like
about being original?
that was City of Heroes' biggest problem, in that in order to fucking not get stomped into the dirt by DC and Marvel, they had to be like daily like, stop making fucking Batman.
and you
Your
can get around it.
character can't be Batman.
The character creator will let you make your Batmans, but you just have to fucking police it and be like, nope, nuh-uh, no drizzt.
Man.
So
Or the
what do you do?
Night Elf areas were just the fucking scourge of the earth with that shit. It was
how many
unbelievable.
Z's? Yeah.
How many X's?
Yeah. But as Marvel, this is the official game now, so you can, absolutely encourage everyone to get their own Spider-Man mask. But, do you go for an angle that says make your own superhero and here's a bunch of unique parts? Or do you just play dress up like a Super Skrull with a bunch of limbs belonging to different characters?
No, you have classes, and the classes will correlate to different superpowers. And the way that they're going to get around people playing as Mr. Fantastic instead of Stretchy Man is that Mr. Fantastic will be your job trainer.
Sure. So
you'll be the apprenticeship to Wolverine or Mr. Fantastic or Iron Man.
So Wall Crawler will just be a class then.
That one's tough because people
come on.
For real though, like being what do you call it? How do I put it? Wanting to be the character is not even the biggest problem for a superhero MMO. I don't know how they fixed it in DC Universe Online, but the number one design issue is movement, because superheroes can fly by default all the time,
and that's what you want to do.
Swing,
that's what's fun,
or run
Flying,
1,000,000 miles a second,
and super jumping around the level, like Hulk. Is
what is the DC Universe Online solution?
I
to those
don't
of you
know.
Who actually
I don't know anything about DC Universe.
Out there.
Yeah,
I'm now going to just somehow get the answer.
Does everyone just fly and do all their powers everywhere? Good question.
There are movement power sets in DC Universe Online.
Okay. If you flash
3 types of movement.
Can you
super speed, flight, or acrobatics?
Okay.
There you go.
Teleporting.
Smart. That's a smart solution.
So what if you just if you get Shadowcat powers, do you just no clip?
You wouldn't. It's one of the things that when you're having a superhero MMO, one of the biggest problems is that the only way to make a series of classes or anything approaching that is that you have to boil down a fiction that is functionally infinite in what people can do to 6 different powers. Yes. Being speed, super stretch. You have to boil them down to are you the techno man with a robot suit? Are you the strong flyy man with the laser beams? Right? And this is the most curious I'll be about this game is how do you pare an entire world of powers down and do it justice, Well, while
delivering what
people
want.
Answer that.
So if you're going to be a Superman type, or in this case, sure.
You have the tank roles be fire, ice, earth, rage, and atomic. You have the crowd control gang be gadgets, mental, light, quantum, and munitions. And you have the healers be sorcery, nature, electricity, celestial, and water.
So that's how they're doing it.
So you really have 3 classes with 5 variations therein.
So be a soldier, super soldier guy, or be a magician person. But you can't specifically have a unique superhero identity with your own things that all right. Okay. You gotta make sacrifices, I suppose.
It's just it's this weird thing where it's whereas pretty much anything that has a historical basis on Dungeons and Dragons, which is almost everything, it's way easier because there's so many archetypes that just slot right in. A monk is a monk in 300 different games. Everybody knows what that is. With superhero stuff, you end up usually taking those same roles and then naming them something different and then changing what the effects actually are.
But when you know that the universe has like, okay, you're a monk, but are you what are you representing? Are you representing,
Martialists?
I mean, so if you can pick different sources of power, essentially, do you then get to? Because you have the goal that is give people the ability to essentially cosplay their favorite Marvel characters and do similar things, or you have like unique but limited. Anyway, all right. Well, I imagine it's gonna be like what you said, where you just limit it. What I think of, or what I enjoy the idea of, is something that's a little less practical than that. So, if I want to do my night crawling teleports, I'd like to be able to design a character that can do that, but that's not practical in any way, shape, or form for a system.
You know what the wildest thing about this is the business aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
So the single smartest thing Clifford Blazinski ever said in his entire career was
There's
room for two.
Mm-hmm.
The market leader that's totally dominant and number two. And Marvel is looking at the current MMO space and seeing number two crawl up into number one spot and number two racked with problems and go, I bet we can get number two.
WoW's up for fucking grabs. It certainly is. They're not wrong. They ain't wrong about that. If they can find ways to basically, in theory, learn from the mistakes and
as long as it's competent, launches well, and there isn't a news article every single week going, the people who made this game are rapists, I think they might be able to steal second base.
Seems possible. I guess we'll just have to wait to see the trailer that shows you exactly those 6 classes and how limited that's all going to be. Where it's like, whatever Marvel hero you wanna, it's gun. You're a gun guy. You're walking around and you shoot. That's your special. Or you're a healer. You do the Scarlet Witch, but it's really just the healing, and that's it. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Can I wear an X-Men uniform? Yes, you can. You can faction up with that. Okay.
I should mention, I don't know what they're thinking. I hope they don't spend too much money on this, because it is known that Riot is working on an MMO, which is that's the most hidden of their projects.
Oh my god.
And
people are starting to make MMOs again.
Considering the history and the staff, it might as well just be the sequel to World of Warcraft.
Dude, everyone gave up on that genre. 14 took it, WoW stood in place, and everyone said, fuck this, we're out.
It took a long time for 14 to crawl up there.
Yeah. But, resilience and rebooting the game, and basically it's a sequel. Let's be real.
Yeah.
But they just stopped trying. We're back to the phase of people making MMOs again, giving it a shot.
Riot is doing the thing where, hey, do you know you remember one of the reasons why World of Warcraft was so popular right out the gate? Because people love Warcraft and StarCraft.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you know what people love right now? Runeterra and Arcane and League of Legends.
Yeah, no, for sure. And every hypothetical of World of StarCraft just never happened, right?
Yeah, that just fucking nowhere.
Okay, so that's coming.
Every single project about StarCraft that wasn't StarCraft got canceled,
except for StarCraft 2.
Yeah, which I consider to be more StarCraft.
But technically, the first version of that probably did get canceled, and then
absolutely. They canceled fucking 2 action games and prep work on an MMO.
the most cutting room floor content for of any IP.
Shame they couldn't apply that to some of their staff.